Welcome into Locked On Phillies. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Phillies lose an NL East heartbreaker last night to the Braves. And for me, I'm putting it almost entirely on the manager's plate. I'll tell you my issues with Joe Girardi coming up next in today's Locked On Phillies.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On Phillies. I'm your host, Connor Thomas. Been talking Phillies baseball for years. It's why I'm emotionally scarred and the person that I am today. I want to thank you, as always, for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Last night was fun, wasn't it? Another long game down in Atlanta. Why do games down there always seem to go to like 11:30 or midnight when it's a 7 o'clock start? It's just preposterous that they're playing like 4-hour plus games down there. And to lose in the fashion that the Phillies did last night, after how long that game was, after how late people stayed up to watch it, that's how you lose a fan base. That's how you lose fans, by playing the game slow and losing. And I understand it takes two to tango. It takes two to play the game slow. The Atlanta Braves are also, culprits partially by that. But, they won. So if you stay up and you see that, well, no Atlanta fans are mad about what happened last night. Let me tell you about what happened last night in case you missed it. Well, the Phillies and Braves faced off in Game 2 of the series. The Phillies won 7-3 in the first game. They have a chance to take two and guarantee themselves a split in a crucial NL East series, one of two crucial NL East series this week, as they try to make up ground in the division on the first-place New York Mets and separate themselves from the Atlanta Braves, who they were one game ahead of coming into this game. They were in second place, the Phillies, and the Braves were in third place, one game behind them. Now, of course, with the loss, they sit even instead of possibly going 2 games up on the Braves. But all of that is just the result of what was a terrible, terrible night for manager Joe Girardi. Now let's look at what exactly happened as far as the scoring. Now, Kyle Gibson, who made the start for the Philadelphia Phillies, he was not great in this one. Only made it through 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, gave up 2 runs, both of them earned. But normally you can win with 2 runs. That's not a bad start. It just wasn't like you're not winning because of Kyle Gibson in this one, but you're also not losing because of Kyle Gibson in this one. The Phillies actually got on the board first in the second inning with a J.T. Realmuto sacrifice fly to center that scored Gene Segura and moved up Kyle Schwarber. So you like that. The Phillies first on the board. Normally that means a good chance that they win the game, but in the bottom of the second, the Atlanta Braves did what good teams do. Well, they answered. Dansby Swanson singled to left center, scoring Ozzie Albies, and then Ronald Acuna Jr. had an RBI single to left. And just like that, 2-1 Atlanta. Atlanta takes the lead in the bottom of the second. And after that, Gibson settled in. He worked 3 more clean innings before, in the top of the 6th, Bryce Harper had an RBI double to left center off of Max Fried and scored Alec Bohm and tied the game up at 2. That would get Kyle Gibson off the hook for the loss in this one, which I'm sure he appreciated. But then in the bottom of the 6th, James Norwood comes in relief for Kyle Gibson, who was done after 5 full innings. Well, Matt Olson homered to right field, 404-foot bomb. Ronald Acuna hit a sacrifice fly to center off of Bellotti, who came in because James Norwood did not record an out in this one. He did not get his job done. Now, Bellotti actually worked out of some trouble there in the bottom of the 6th. Could have been significantly worse, and he didn't have an awful night. You take a look at the box score and the pitching lines for everybody. Bellotti, clean inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 18 pitches. Good outing for him. And then Brad Hand went a full inning in relief, only 1 hit given up, no runs, no earned, no walks, 1 K. Perfect. We're good with that. Norwood had some issues, but after Kyle Gibson's, I don't even want to say subpar, but average start, James Norwood gave up 2 runs, and you're only looking at 4 runs given up. The Phillies offense can win games where they only give up 4 runs. They certainly can. But then here's where you know what hits the fan. We get late into this game, and in the top of the 9th, with the Phillies trailing 3-4, Bryce Harper comes up. And with Alec Boehm on the bases, ready to come home to tie the game, what does Bryce Harper do? He hits an absolute laser. One of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit at Truist Park. Right field, 438 feet. I don't even know where it ended up because I was freaking out so much. I was standing up on my couch screaming at like 11 p.m., probably waking up my roommate upstairs, and I'm yelling my head off because Bryce Harper just proved to everybody why he's the greatest hitter in baseball, why he's clutch, why he's not overrated. He's probably still underrated. He's underpaid. The Phillies have him on a great deal compared to his production. And this team's leader, well, he shows up in the big spots time and time and time again. And how lucky are we to have Bryce Harper? I would love for that to be the narrative of today's show. I would love that to be what I went to bed thinking about last night, but it wasn't. The Phillies take the lead with that home run in the top of the 9th. And it's like, well, if it was the Phillies on the other hand, then what they do is they crumble in the 9th inning. They go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th and the ball game's over. Yeah, well, this Braves team is not this Phillies team, apparently, because they know how to win games instead of giving them away. And in the bottom of the 9th, Joe Girardi opts to stick with Nick Nelson. Nick Nelson stays in the game rather than going to some other pitchers. Now, I'll tell you what happened before I tell you the explanations for why Nick Nelson was pitching that Joe Girardi gave us after the game. Well, first up, you just go ahead and you give up immediately a double down the line to Dansby Swanson that just sets the Braves up perfectly to tie the game. And just like that, you feel like you'll never get out of it. Dansby Swanson on second with no outs. The chances that you get out of it are now slim to none without giving up that run. Oh, then Nick Nelson just throws a wild pitch, moves Dansby Swanson up to third, meaning that anything hits the outfield is basically an automatic run. Dansby Swanson runs well. Well, what happens next? Well, Ronald Acuna hits what would have been a sacrifice fly. It's I don't know, moderate center field, not deep, not shallow. Roman Quinn goes over and, just completely doesn't make the play. Just doesn't even get a glove on a fly ball that with the winning run now on second base, the tying run, scoring on the play. Ronald Acuna hustles out of the box, rounds first, gets to second on what should have been a fly out with maybe a play at the plate. And just like that, the Braves are tied in the ballgame with the winning run at second base. And the very next hitter, Contreras singles to center. Ronald Acuna Jr. scores easily. Ball game over. That's it. You saw 3 batters. You had a 1-run lead, and you gave up 2 runs in 3 batters. That's Nick Nelson. That's why he should never be pitching in those spots. But let me tell you a little bit about why he was pitching. Oh, why not go Sir Anthony Dominguez? Well, Sir Anthony Dominguez wasn't available. He had yesterday off, 2 days ago off. He didn't pitch Monday. But Tuesday he's not available. Why? Well, I guess because he pitched Saturday and Sunday against the Dodgers. I get he's coming back from injury. I get you're trying to work him back. But listen, throw him again. It's a huge spot. Why is the closer not available? Corey Knebel. Why would you not go to the guy you brought in to be the closer for this team? Oh, well, he pitched Sunday and he pitched Monday. Why did he pitch Monday? Why? You were leading 7-3. It was not a save situation, and you waste your closer knowing you can't throw him again today, which is stupid anyway, that he can't throw 3 days in a row. But you waste him yesterday for a situation where you did not need him. That's stupid managing. It cost you a game. And you know what you do today? Or not today. You know what you do in this game that I'm talking about, though? Well, hey, we just got a huge opportunity in the 9th inning. Screw the day off. Dude, Corey, I need you for like 10 pitches. Can you give me 10 pitches to help this team win a crucial ball game? Nope, doesn't do that. Oh, why isn't Jose Alvarado available? well, they had a bunch of righties coming up, so I didn't really like the lefty-righty matchup. Jose Alvarado has 20 career saves. You know how many Nick Nelson has? 0. I have as many major league saves as Nick Nelson. You know the last time Nick Nelson pitched, even in a 9th inning of a Major League Baseball game? 2 years ago. He's been in the majors for 3 years. It's been 2 years since he's even pitched in a 9th inning. But Joe Girardi decides, oh, let's roll it back with him, even though he didn't look great in the 8th inning when he was throwing. It's nonsensical. Joe Girardi does not know how to manage a bullpen. He's actively hurting this team. He's actively causing this team wins, and I will stand for it no more. I need a new manager. I need somebody else who knows what they're doing with moves, with lineups, with the attitude of this team. I'm done with him. It's why they didn't want to give him an extension. It's why he shouldn't be back after this year. It's why he shouldn't be back later this year. It's why he shouldn't make it through the All-Star break. If it was up to me, he would be walking home from Atlanta right now. I don't know when it's too much for the organization with Joe Girardi, but for me, as a fan of this team, well, we're already past that point. Last night was the breaking point. I'm done, and I'm counting the days until Joe Girardi no longer manages this baseball team. But time marches on. The Phillies play another game tonight. They can still win this series. They can still split this series. They still can salvage this. We'll preview tonight's action in our next segment on today's Locked On Phillies. Oh, well, this is perfect. Sometimes the universe just sets things up perfectly. Our first sponsor today are our friends over at LinkedIn. With spring in the air, it's a time of renewal and growth, both personally and professionally. Your small business is trying to grow. The Phillies are trying to go. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster. So Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton and the rest of the Phillies brass that are deciding whether or not they want a new manager, it's easy if you use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find Joe Girardi's replacement easily. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. And you know what? I might take just about every single one of them over Joe Girardi as the Phillies manager right now. But I shouldn't have that opportunity because you should be running to LinkedIn Jobs to hire some of them for your small growing business. You can add your job in the purple hashtag hiring note down at the bottom of your LinkedIn profile to help spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right person. It's simple. It's easy tools. You posted. There's great screening so you get candidates that are focused on what you're looking to bring in. It's why small business rates LinkedIn Jobs #1, delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Joe Girardi is going to be one of those soon, so it's going to be 40,000,001. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, let's get into tail of the tape for Game 3 between the Phillies and the Braves, the game that will have first pitch tonight at 7:20 p.m. down there in Truist Park in Atlanta, and see, well, what the Phillies' chances are for bouncing back after last night's awful loss in the bottom of the 9th inning. First of all, the matchup predictor. I love looking at this thing on ESPN. It's actually rather accurate for not so much like if the Braves had a 70% chance of winning, the Phillies a 30% chance the Braves are going to win by more. But normally when it says the team's predicted to win, more often than not, it's correct. And they use ESPN statistics or analytics, some algorithm that they've got there. That Joe Girardi's probably got in one of his binders that told him Nick Nelson was a good idea to pitch the 9th inning. But anyway, in tonight's game, the Phils only a 47.9% chance of winning. The Braves a 52.1% chance of winning. But that's pretty much as close to 50-50 as you're really ever going to see. It's a coin toss. And when you look at the pitching matchup, you can see why. Ranger Suarez goes for the Phillies with a 4.12 ERA and a record of 4-2, a 1.45 WHIP, 39 1/3 innings pitched, 42 hits given up, 33 strikeouts, 15 walks, and 5 home runs given up. Faces off against Charlie Morton, who's 3-3 with a 4.95 ERA. An ERA 0.83 points higher, but the same exact WHIP, They both allow 1.45 walks and hits in innings pitched. Charlie Morton only 2/3 more of innings pitched so far this year. He's got 40 even. Ranger Suarez with that 39 1/3. Morton's given up 39 less hits, but he has 4 more walks. 39 less hits. Sorry. He's given up 3 less hits. He's given up 39 hits in total. Could you imagine if he'd only given up 3 hits so far this year and he had a 1.45 whip? That means he must be walking hundreds of people. Anyway, but 19 walks. So Morton a little bit less control, but he also has 4 more strikeouts than Suarez with 37, 1 less home run given up. So, yeah, you see a little bit more, I guess, control of the ball with Ranger Suarez, pitching a little bit more to contact this year than Charlie Morton. But as a strikeout pitcher, Morton's been just about equally as effective. And when you look at that matchup, well, okay, that looks like a toss-up to me. Now, Ranger Suarez hopefully can come in. He's the first lefty out on the mound that the Atlanta Braves have seen so far this series as far as a starter. So you can go ahead and hope that affects them more. Charlie Morton, a right-handed pitcher, comes in for Atlanta, and the Phillies do better against lefties. So a little bit worried about that, but Charlie Morton's sporting a near 5 ERA. He's gettable. He's a guy that you can put some runs up against. And the Phillies offense, even though they only put up 5 runs in last night's game, well, it's 5 runs. They look better than what they looked like at home. It was still another game where they had a chance to win thanks to some heroics by Bryce Harper. So, yeah, maybe the offense breaks through against Charlie Morton again, just like they did when they hung 7 runs up in Game 1 of this series. Bryce Harper now 10 home runs, leading the Phillies for the batting leaders, batting over 300 again at 302. With 31 RBIs, he's unbelievable. Marcell Ozuna with 8 home runs leads the Braves. Ozzie Albies with a 253 batting average is now the leader for the Braves in that category. And Dansby Swanson now leads in RBIs with 21. But Bryce has 10 more than him. Bryce Harper's been incredible this year. And honestly, I don't know how this team is not better with Bryce Harper. This team is letting him down right now. If I'm Bryce Harper, I can't say what I really want to say about my thoughts on Bryce Harper and how he should react to the managing in last night's game. But let's just say I would be having a strongly worded conversation with Joe Girardi after I put the team on my back in the top of the 9th inning, and then you go out and you make that decision and you have some random crap explanation as to why you threw Nick Nelson as opposed to 3 or 4 better options out of the bullpen. Heck, use Jeurys Familia. Jeurys Familia has over 100 career MLB saves. I understand that he's not that good of a reliever anymore, and I don't like Jeurys Familia as a option in crunch time. I really don't. I would have probably been pulling my hair out if Jeurys Familia went in, but I would, and this is not hindsight, I'm telling you honestly, I would rather have Jeurys Familia pitching the 9th inning than Nick Nelson. He's done it before. Use someone who's been there before, please. Like, it's elementary type stuff. But for some reason, Joe Girardi just doesn't understand how to manage a bullpen in a proper way, how to manage pitchers in a proper way, babying arms, everything like that. I don't know how the Phillies are going to get through tonight because, they had a bunch of guys throw yesterday. I'm going to go back real quick and see if I know Brad Hand threw, Bellotti threw, Norwood threw, obviously Nick Nelson threw. Are all those guys shut down today? Listen, if you're down there in Atlanta and you're a fan of the Philadelphia Phillies, bring your glove because you might be the guy throwing the 9th inning for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Who knows what the bullpen has, but hopefully Ranger Suarez comes out and puts together a great start and the Phils can steal one down there in Atlanta, set them up for a 3-1 series win if they take tomorrow's game. But we'll see what happens tonight. I have a great now out right now for Locked On Now. So me reacting to that game last night, a fiery now where you can hear my immediate thoughts about Joe Girardi and the Phillies and what happened last night. And you should check out Locked On Now. I want to thank you as always for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. But check out the Locked On Now podcast. It's immediate reactions to big happenings like that last night. Some teams, they actually get to do fun ones when their team wins big games like that. Not us Phillies fans, not me as a Locked On Phillies host, but maybe one day I hope to be involved in one of those really fun Locked On Nows. But check it out. It's immediate reactions to big news, wins, losses, everything from around Major League Baseball from all of our great hosts who cover these teams day in and day out. So check it out. It's wholly unique to the Locked On Network, and you can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up next, we've got Stepping Off, and boy, do we need it. Stepping Off, a segment where we step outside the lines of baseball, talk about something not strategy related. I need to cool off a little bit. I need to step off, collect my breath before I throw one into the backstop at 99 because I'm overthrowing because I'm so angry. So take a deep breath. We'll be back, and we'll wrap up today's episode with a fun, light edition of Stepping Off. Okay, so maybe this isn't going to be all that light. It's something I'm annoyed with, but at least it's not the Philadelphia Phillies doing it. It's not Joe Girardi. It's not anything like that. This is just something that I don't really understand, and I need Major League Baseball to address this. I guess it's individual teams to address this. The Philadelphia Phillies did a great thing this year. Great. Normally, if you've been a fan of this team for a long time, their first pitch for regular night games is at what time? That's right, 7:05 p.m. That's what it was. That's what was just burned into our minds. 7:05 p.m., flip on the TV, flip on the radio, listen or watch the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, this year, Phillies looked at it and they're like, well, 7:05, 3-hour game, you're not done until 10:05. 3.5-hour game, which is what about they're averaging this year, you're not done to 10:35. Even at like a 30-minute drive from the stadium, which takes longer with traffic, you're not getting home till 11. Kids in school, people with early jobs, hello, morning radio, got to be up at 4 a.m. Yeah, that sucks getting out of there at 11:30 on a weeknight. So how do we make it easier? Well, we bump up the start time to 6:45. Perfect. Even that half hour is great. A quick game at 6:45, a 3-hour game at 6:45 means you're out of the ballpark by 9:45. You could be home by 10:15. That's great. You save an hour on your night. You get to bed at a normal hour. It helps everybody. I love it. I love what the Phillies did. It was a great move by them to bump up the starts to 6:45. So why is it that the Atlanta Braves, who are also on Eastern Standard Time, are first pitching at 7:20? Why is it that the New York Mets are first pitching at 7:15? Like, why do we not have a damn uniform start time for baseball games per time zone? They're not before you say, oh, they're staggered, so you can watch different ones so they're not all starting at the same time. No, that's not the case. They're not staggered for that. They're staggered because teams just make up their own times and everything. Like, could you imagine if on Sunday for NFL football, the Eagles just decided we're going to have kickoff at 2 p.m. instead of 1? Like, you can't do that. It messes with the schedule. Can you imagine if one of those 4 o'clock games is like, no, we don't want to do it at 4 o'clock. We're going to bump it up to like 3:15. And then in like overtime or in the fourth quarter of another game, you got to flip over to the next. Like, it doesn't make sense that baseball teams have the autonomy to set their start time. And frankly, if baseball wants to help the game and wants more eyes on the game and wants a more fan-friendly experience going to the park, make it 6:30. Make it 6:45. Move up the start times. And I know I'm biased because I have to be up early, but everyone I've talked to in the press box, people I've talked to, fans around the stadium, fans of this team around the city here in Philadelphia, they all love the 6:45 start. Do it in Atlanta. Do it in New York. Do it in Miami. And I heard a complaint, oh, well, there's so much traffic in Atlanta. No one will get to the game. There's traffic everywhere. Shut up with the traffic. Just move up the start times, or if you're going to have it later, which is dumb, at least all be dumb together. At least regulate your sport a little bit and tell everybody to start at the same time. I don't understand why start times and first pitch times, all that have to be different across Major League Baseball. Like 6:45 East Coast, 7:45 Central, 8:45 Mountain, 9:45 West Coast games. Simple. Hour difference between them, general thing. They all start at the same time. You run the games at the same time. Players can get in a better rhythm. They know exactly what time they're starting. It's not like, oh, we got to be up 15 minutes earlier because for some reason this stupid organization plays 15 minutes later. It makes no sense. I don't know why they still do it, and MLB needs to change that. So that is stepping off. That is me taking a step outside the line just to rant a little bit about something that's been annoying me over the past couple of days as the Phillies head down there to Atlanta. It's not the only thing, though. Of course, the performance on the field is the most annoying. they need to step it up, and they have an opportunity to tonight. So let's hope Ranger Suarez dices, the offense wakes up, and the Phillies can bounce back from an awful loss last night. I almost said an awful win. An awful loss last night that should have been a win. And we're counting the days until Joe Girardi is no longer the manager of this baseball team. That's all I've got for you on today's Locked On Phillies. I want to thank you, as always, for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan. Sully, and let me tell you how hard Sully works. I was up at like 11:45 putting out my Locked On Now for the Phillies game last night in that loss. And Sully shoots me a DM on Twitter. It was like, hey, you want to jump on? You want to do a crossover to talk about that Phillies collapse? And I had to be like, man, I'm sorry. I got to be up in 4 hours for morning radio. So I got to get some semblance of sleep, or I would. But that's how hard he works. He reaches out to people all the time to get perspective from around the league. He knows all the teams, the storylines. He knows the history of the game. He's a great listen. So check out Sully on Locked On MLB. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. And please continue to rate, review, and subscribe to Locked On Phillies to help you get the best listening, viewing, everything experience when you consume my content here. I appreciate you all being there to help me through what's been a rough season so far, and maybe the Phillies will turn the corner. But either way, we'll still be here every day covering your team that you love right here on Locked On Phillies. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.